for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from heaven's end.
Hi guys, this is Bosslady Shruti, and this is something that I get questions on a lot of times, and that is always regarding what foundation I use, the concealers that I use. That is why in my previous video I just wanted to share with you guys my favorite concealers, and in this video I want to show you kind of my foundation routine, what I do, all the steps I take to get kind of this glowy skin like dewiness, if I may say so. To tell you a little about the process, I actually have oily skin, but I really like wearing my foundations dewy. I don't like wearing my foundations really matte. I think it was back in 2014 that I used to wear my foundations really matte. But I think the trend now is also to look luminous and dewy and glowy, and you know how much I love my highlight. So this is kind of the routine that I follow when I want to go fully glam, not like an everyday foundation routine, but this is definitely something that I do when I want to go full glam and full on. So if you want to know how I get my full foundation routine on, please keep watching. So first up, I already have moisturized my face. I use a BIOTIQUE moisturizer, which is like a moisturizer which is very light and has a little bit of SPF in it. I love using moisturizers like that because then I don't have to kind of go in with another layer of sunscreen, and a lot of sunscreens kind of oxidize my foundation, which I hate. So this is something I really like. After I've moisturized my face, I like to go in with a primer. The one that I have lately been obsessed with is this PAC primer. This is their zero pore separation primer. I honestly think this is such a boon to oily skin. This blurs my skin like just can you see that? I like putting this on my forehead, on my nose, and on my laugh lines. This is because these are the places that I tend to get really oily. And this primer really mattifies and blurs the face and really preps it for anything that you're going to put on top. Also, I have to tell you that this primer, I'm not sure if it will work on dry skin type, because I have seen a few people, a few bloggers, etc., who have really dry skin type, like this kind of flaking off on their skin. But on my skin, which is really oily, I think this glides on beautifully and it has prepped my skin really well for makeup. So that is why I love it. Next step is to get that dewiness going on. So this is the Faces Ultime Pro Metallic Glow in Champagne. So depending on how dewy I want to look on that day, I will either apply it on the high points of my face, but because I want to really glow today, I'm going to put a pump of this on my hand and kind of massage it everywhere on my face. I like just dabbing my face with a beauty blender. This is the YBP Beauty Sponge. So as you can see, my face is literally glowing right now because this illuminator is not kidding when it says it freaking illuminates everything. Also, one thing about this product is that it dries down really matte, so it's not like it's going to give a very sticky feeling. That is why I like using this as a base for when I want a really dewy, glowy look. Even though it looks like my face is glowing, I don't really have any kind of oiliness peeping through, like that feeling of oil or something wet on your face. That's not something that happens with this product, and that is why even when I put it all over my face, it kind of works for me. Also, alternatively, if you want, you can mix the illuminator with your foundation, but I've seen that wearing the illuminator separately on your face and then going on with the foundation really makes my skin that much more glowy. That's why I like putting the illuminator as a separate step other than just mixing it within the foundation. Then for foundation, I have two options. You all know how much I love this Faces Ultime Pro gel serum foundation. I am in the shade 04 Sand, but lately I have also been loving the NYX drop foundation. Both of these are very similar in their concept, but I would say that this is a smidget more like thicker in its consistency, whereas the NYX one is very, very liquidy. It's just a matter of preference, what you like. I keep going back and forth between the both of them on almost a regular, everyday basis. But today I'm going to be using the NYX one. I always like going in with the brush before and then using the sponge like as a final touch to my foundation. I feel this really pushes the product in and makes the foundation really skin-like. Now that our foundation is done, I shall move on to concealer. So for concealer, I have a few things that I keep going back and forth with. So this is the Makeup Studio concealer in dark peach beige. Unfortunately, I do not know where you can get this online. I purchased it from this place called Beauty Palace, which is in Andheri West in Mumbai. And I honestly haven't seen Makeup Studio being sold anywhere other than there. And this is a brand that I think is very, very good and has very nice professional quality products, but unfortunately I don't know why and where they're available online. But if you are in Mumbai, please do check them out. The one that I use is, like I said, in dark peach beige, and I love the consistency of this. And the reason why I like something which is dark peach beige is because it corrects and conceals under my eyes in like one step. With the MAC Correct and Conceal palette, which is also something I use all the time. If you've seen my tutorials, you know that. In that, I do have to go with the corrector and then the concealer, but with this, I feel both of them are done in one step. After I have blended out my concealer, I usually like spraying my face with a face mist because I feel it really helps lock the foundation down and helps with the longevity of your base foundation. So again, I have two choices. I have the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Skin Hydrating Mist and the PAC Makeup Prime Plus Setting Spray. So the difference between these two is that this is obviously a lot more hydrating and dewy looking finish if you want that, and if you want something a little more matte, you can always use the PAC one or the Fix Plus. I ran out of my Fix Plus, so I've been using the PAC one and it's doing really well for me. But today, because I want to go in for a really dewy look, I'm going to spritz my face with the MAC Mineralized Hydrating Mist. I let it sit on my face for about, say, 20 seconds. And after that, I shall go in with my YBP beauty sponge or any beauty sponge that you use and push the product in when your skin is wet. This again helps with the longevity of your base makeup. After I've done this, I usually like going with a highlighting concealer just to kind of brighten the areas that I want to bring forward. For this, I've been obsessed with the Maybelline Age Rewind. If you all have been following me for quite some time, you all know I use this in almost every tutorial of mine because this is my jam, and I'm so happy that they finally launched it in India. And I got this from the US, but I'm so happy I finally have it here. I just like putting it in the areas, like I said, that I want to highlight, which is basically underneath my eyes, bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and a little bit on my chin. So the shade that I use in this is 150 Neutralizer. This is way too light for me to use just as is as a concealer. What I have noticed is that when I use it in conjunction with my regular concealer and I use this as a brightener, it totally brightens up my under eyes. I know I look a little funny right now, but once I set it with powder and do the rest of my face, my under eyes look fly as shit. So after I've done all of this, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to set everything with powder yet because I want to cream contour. I'm going to use the ColourPop Sculpting Sticks. This is in Point Dume or Dume, whatever you want to call it. This is a really cool toned contour. Why I like it is because I like my contour to be a little cool toned, and then I like going with a little more warm toned powder bronzer. I don't know why, this is just something I like doing, so that's what I'm gonna do. Usually I don't really like contouring, especially cream contouring my nose, but today I tried it and I think I like it. So now that we have done all the creamy products on our face, I'm going to go in and set my under eyes. I'm going to use my trusty Laura Mercier, but an alternative to this is also the Ben Nye banana powder. I have also seen Makeup Revolution come up with a nice banana powder which looks exactly like the Ben Nye, but I haven't tried it yet to tell you if it really works or not. But in But from all the products that I have experienced, the Laura Mercier and the Ben Nye one are my favorite. Also, the reason why I really like this ColourPop contour stick is because, as you can see, it blends beautifully in the skin. Though on the stick the color looks really dark, but once it's all blended out, your contour looks on fleek. Before I set my under eyes, I always like going in and kind of blending out any creases or anything that I might have got with the cream. And then this is a Real Techniques brush. I got it in like a set. I like using this for my under eyes, so I just take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and I like placing it in an inverted triangle. This is because that's where we've put our highlighting concealer. I've seen a lot of people take the powder right up till their nose to also kind of contour it. I don't tend to do that, so I'm just going to keep the powder here and bake for a bit. Then while my under eyes are baking, I want to bronze my face. For this, I'm going to use a product that I've been obsessed with for the longest time, and I kind of like this a little more than the SIVANNA Colors one right now. This is the ODBO bronzer in 02. This has a lot of kickback, but it blends out like a dream. And the reason why I like it is because I like using the lighter color on my forehead, but on my cheekbones and stuff, I like to use this darker color. So once I'm done with bronzer, obviously I look very scary right now, but trust me, it's all about to come together. But before I remove the bakage under my eyes, I like going in with a dry beauty sponge. This is because I've noticed that when I use a wet beauty sponge, the sponge kind of takes up a lot of product. But with a dry beauty sponge, it kind of applies the product where I want it to apply. So for this, I'm going to take the PAC 2D blender. I'm going to take some of my Laura Mercier on it, and I'm just going to clean up under my contour. I like doing this because it really makes my contour stand out, and if your contour has kind of smudged down a little bit and stuff like that, this kind of takes care of all of that. So while I bake the parts of my face that I want baked, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just quickly do my eyebrows and my eyes, and I shall be right back. So yes, that is the finished look. I just put on some eyeliner and mascara. By the way, this is the Maybelline Big Shot mascara, and oh my goodness, this mascara is so good, you guys. I just went in with like a coat and a half, or maybe like 2 coats on my eyes, and I literally feel like I have falsies on. Like, honestly, I don't know if you guys can tell through the camera, but this mascara is everything. And I'm not kidding when I tell you Maybelline knows their lash game, man. Maybelline really knows how to make a good mascara. And I know a lot of you guys were asking me in my previous video, and I forgot to list it in the bottom bar, so I'm really sorry. And this is the one that Maybelline collaborated with Shayla on Instagram as Makeup by Shayla, and I think she's pretty bomb. I really like her personality. She's very out there, and I really like those kind of girls. So yes, I'm loving this mascara. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want like my top 5 favorite mascaras or something like that. I would love to do it for you guys. And subscribe to my channel if you already haven't, because we make fun videos like this over here. And I plan to hold a really huge giveaway when I reach 10K. I know we are a little far away, but I know we can make it. So go team! I know we can do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. And until then, like I always say, keep it bossy.